What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And looks like old man Winter's trying to hang around in Ohio. I thought he was gone, packed up maybe, went back to Alaska, North Pole somewhere. But no, he wants to stick around here. Anyway, it's Easter Sunday. Everybody got their bow ties ready. Dressed the kids up in their nice patent leather shoes. I remember going to church when I was little, get the fresh new suit for Easter. Big old bow tie about that big, looks like a pillow case right up under your neck, just stuck a pillow right up under your neck. Yeah, my little bell bottoms, my tuxedo with the cummerband. See, they don't even have cummerbands no more, whatever those are, cummerbands, yeah. Anyway, let's get down to it. So, of course, we know the Mueller report is still circulating around and people are still talking about it. And I'm watching people on TV just jumping over all of the stuff that wasn't in the Mueller report. That's probably important to understanding this whole thing. See, I'm watching CNN, MSNBC, and they're, Barr done really just prostituted herself. I mean, this guy needs to step down. I mean, he really destroyed his career by getting up there and saying stuff like that. I'm like, what stuff? You mean the truth? That's what made him a bad guy? You mean stuff that doesn't go along with the narrative of CNN and MSNBC and the Democrats? And then, of course, the Democrats are talking about, well, we need to look further into this. We're going to have Robert Mueller come in and testify. And, I mean, we're not at impeachment yet. Then other ones, we need to be impeaching right now. So they're in disarray, scrambling, trying to come up with a consensus or one narrative that they all want to stick to. But right now, they're all over the place, It's just a straight circus over there. But anyway, here's the thing, though. I've been thinking about this. Now, you got this whole report that's talking about Russia collusion and how the Russians tried to interfere with the election. Now, the whole time, they also told President Trump he wasn't under any investigation, okay? Now, if he's not under any investigation, my question is, why was he mentioned in the second half? Everything in the second half revolved around President Trump and his behavior, what he did not do, what he said, all of those things. If he wasn't under investigation, then how could he obstruct? That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you tell me, hey, man, you are not the target of our investigation, then, okay, I can't obstruct that. You ain't coming after me, apparently, so how can I obstruct? And the third thing is, why would they have the second half basically laying out a roadmap to impeachment for the Democrats? What was Robert Mueller doing? At what point did he realize there's no collusion? That should have been it. As soon as he figured that out, he should have been like, all right, we don't even need to go any further and get all into the whole, did he try to obstruct? Because there's nothing to obstruct. That's my whole point. So that shows, once again, the target really was Donald Trump. That's who it was. If it wasn't Donald Trump, then you should have pumped the brakes soon as you realized you had all your material. You don't need any, why interview him? Yeah, we need you to come in and get interviewed and then later on confess, well, we didn't need him anyway. We had all the material we needed. Basically, you said, we need you to come in so we can get you in a perjury trap. So he didn't fall for that. They didn't push it because they knew there's no original crime that they can go to the Supreme Court and say, well, we have reason to believe that President Trump was on a secret call with Vladimir late at night, pillow talk. And so therefore, we need to subpoena him and bring him in to testify. They had nothing, and that's why they didn't push it. And they have nothing on obstruction of justice either. So what they did is they pretty much wrote an essay about President Trump, his decisions, his morality. We're trying to paint him as, we're gonna leave it up to the public. That's not your job, man. Why even bring up all of this stuff if you're not going to indict? That's what I want to know. Why even go into the whole second half of this? There's nothing more than a big political hit on the president. Why even go into all of that? The people don't need to know that. The original job was to find out what the Russians did, if anything, and if anybody in America colluded with them. But once they knew there was no collusion, then why even write the whole second half about obstruction of justice? When did they decide that a part of our mandate is to see if there was some obstruction of justice? The whole time they were sitting back lying about all we're doing is just checking in to see if Russia, what their involvement was in the election. and if anybody else colluded with them. Then all of a sudden it shifted to obstruction of justice when? I mean, just because James Comey got fired, I mean, that's not obstruction of justice. I mean, he didn't step in right after that and say, not only am I firing James Comey, but I want y'all to shut this investigation down. The investigation kept going. So all of his rhetoric and his fussing and being angry and suggesting to some of his people, y'all need to shut this mess down. You need to go and get fire Robert Mueller, because he did have a conflict of interest. The man was buddied up with James Comey. Not only that, he applied for the job, Trump fired him, and then he brings in a whole crew of Democrats who worked for Hillary, some of them. And that's a big conflict of interest. I can see why he would suggest, go fire these dudes. I can see why he would suggest, go fire this dude, for the simple fact, he knew almost, I bet you Robert Mueller knew going in that there was no collusion. I bet you he knew that about 5 days in. He probably came in, looked at how this all started, was like, this is nothing, but I'm gonna drag it out for about 2 years so I can give the Democrats a chance to keep pounding this into the public's head. Then I'm gonna leave it open-ended on something we know you can't obstruct because there was no crime, there was nothing there to obstruct. And President Trump wasn't even a target, they say. So, but I'm gonna paint all this stuff, compile it, and just slide it out to the public. Those are things that are unnecessary to even be told to the public, because unless you're going to bring that person in, all you're doing is creating another narrative for the Democrats and the liberal media to spin, and some bait for them to try to manipulate it and contort it into justification of impeachment. But the other thing about this too is that a lot of stuff was missing. Notice in the report, they didn't even harp on the fake phony dossier, because they couldn't use that as a basis, because they even know it's fake. Eric Swalwell, who said, well, what's in that dossier that's fake? I mean, I guess he's thinking everything was legit. All that stuff was real. Then if it was real, it would have been mentioned in the report. They didn't mention in the report the genesis of this. They should have started off the report telling us why the FBI even was suspicious to even investigate the president, okay, for Russia collusion. I mean, I thought it was just supposed to be for Carter Page and all of them dudes. Well, how did it get all the way up to the president? That's what I want to know. So he didn't explain a lot. He left all of that out, see? And he didn't even talk about how the whole dossier was founded and funded by Fusion GPS and paid for by the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign. I mean, why did he leave that out? I don't understand. If it's all about Russia collusion, that was a part of the whole puzzle. That was a part of it. Why didn't he bring that up? He conveniently left anything out that might show that this was a garbage manufactured investigation. And then he goes one step further to give President Trump a punch on the way out by laying out half of the dang on report talking about some stupid obstruction of justice, only to conclude that nothing happened up front to lead to him having to obstruct justice. You know what you did, Robert Mueller? You drugged this out. You kept getting paid. You kept your people on the payroll for 2.5 years. I bet you there was days they went into the office and just sat around playing Yahtzee, shaking dice, all kind of stuff, some spades. I bet you they didn't even work. It's like, man, we've been finished with this 5 days into the whole investigation. We knew this was fake. Yeah, every once in a while, let's go ahead and hustle and rough up one of these people on the campaign. Let's go through. Let's get this Robert Manafort guy. All right, let's break down his door, tear up some stuff, look at some papers. Then we'll go back to playing spades, okay? Then we'll wait until we go and get somebody else. And so they wasted a lot of time, a lot of money, only to come up with nothing. And then to give the Democrats and the liberal media more juice to drag this out is detrimental to the country. It's pathetic, man. And it's about time. I hope Barr go completely ape crap on all of them and point out all of this corruption and how they put this whole thing together, and close the mouths of all of these stupid Democrats and the liberal media running around. I mean, I want it closed. I want to just sew their mouth up. I don't want nothing. Mum's the word. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Check me out every Wednesday live on YouTube and also at 7:30. Also, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. you got to hit that like button a couple times because they're playing games. YouTube playing games again. Anyway, so make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Also, check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. You'll love the products. If you like something, put my name in it, Kevin, in the promo code. You'll get 20% discount. And if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom. Do that as well. And other than that, this is Kevin from Kevin's Corner signing off. We'll see you next time in Kevin's Corner. Oh, find me on Facebook and the Twitter. God bless.